morning, RedHawks fans. My name is Natalie Valvo, your host for today's Miami University women's basketball game against the Vermont Catamounts here at Millett Hall. It is currently 9:52 a.m. and we have about 20 minutes before tip-off. It is a cool morning today here in Oxford, Ohio with a little bit of rainfall and a perfect weather to come watch a basketball game. Today's game is a special one as the team welcomes about 1,400 youth between the ages of kindergarten and 5th grade, and they are filling the stands all around Millett Hall here. It's amazing to watch. On Monday night, the RedHawks faced off against Xavier, fortunately coming up short. Maddie Clue, sophomore guard from Northfield, Ohio, led the team in scoring with 24 points, a career high for her. Really quick, your RedHawks are coming out here on the court, getting ready for some warm-ups. As I was saying, though, Maddie Clue, sophomore guard from Northfield, Ohio, led the team in scoring with 24 points, a career high for her, in Monday's night season opener. It'll be exciting to see what she will accomplish today in today's game. Ivy Wolf, sophomore guard from Minster, Ohio, contributed her fair share of 70 points and a career high of 6 steals against Xavier University. We'll cut to a quick break and then we'll be back right here from Millett Hall. And we are back. Vermont played against Indiana University on Tuesday night, losing 86-49. Senior guard Emma Utterback had 19 points and 4 assists, a team high. This RedHawk team is a younger team consisting of 6 sophomores, which can be advantageous to them not only in this game, but in coming seasons. So far in this warm-up, I've seen extreme teamwork and great effort. It'll be interesting to see what happens in today's game. On Wednesday, Coach Hendrickson, who is in her 4th season here, has the opportunity to get this sophomore class the experience they need to be the leaders in coming years. On Wednesday, the 9th, Kristen Carter, Madison French, Madison Hunn, and Amber Treader committed to come play basketball here at Miami for the 23-24 season. Coach Hendricks stated all 4 embody all that we are. Relentless competitors who understand the importance of winning habits while deeply caring for others. Tonight at 5 p.m., Canisius women's basketball takes on Toledo at Toledo. Both teams won their first games. Canisius beat Buffalo in a close game 57-55, and Toledo beat Wright State in a blowout 88-56. Fans, we have about 12 minutes before tip-off starts, and for your play-by-play, you have Luke West Poley, and doing your color is Zach Rengers.
This morning's matchup features the visiting Vermont Catamounts and your Miami RedHawks. Today's game is brought to you by Ohio's 529 plan. Our Miami coaches and players dress for sportsmanship on and off the court. We're encouraging you to do the same. Please respect your neighbors. neighbors and our opponent's fans. Anyway, thank you.
The NCAA good sportsmanship by two national candidates. We request cooperation by supporting the participants in associating a positive way. Profanity, racial or sexist comments, or any other intimidating actions directed at officials, players, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the Millett Hall. Throwing any object onto the board is also prohibited.
Miami University maintains a strong reciprocal relationship with the Miami Tribal Council. Our land acknowledgement exists to reaffirm the Miami people's
The high five on this side is
homeland
all
and
down
African
there. Only
heritage.
fifth graders. Yep, they're not last one.
Specific
That's why
work
you got
in Miami University's land acknowledgement is the result of an intentional, collaborative process with the Miami Center and with review and approval from the Miami Tribal Council. As we begin, we'd like to share this land acknowledgement. Miami University is located within the traditional homeland of the Miami and Shoshone people, who, along with other indigenous groups, ceded these lands to the United States in the first treaty legal in 1795. The Miami people, whose name our university carries, were forcibly removed from these homelands in 1846. In 1972, a relationship between Miami University and the Miami Tribal Home began and evolved into a reciprocal partnership, including the creation of the Miami Center at Miami University in 2009. The work of the Miami Center served the Miami Tribe community and is dedicated to the revitalization of Miami language and culture and to restoring that knowledge to the Miami people. Miami University and the Miami Tribe are proud of this work and of the more than 140 Miami students who have attended Miami since 1991 with the Miami Heritage Museum.
Right now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask everyone to please stop where you are, rise, remove your caps, and join us as today we're pleased to honor America and our veterans with the playing of our national anthem.
Hello fans, we just concluded the national anthem as the teams go back to start warming up again. We've got a great turnout here of the 1,400 kindergarten to 5th graders as they've got their Miami RedHawks sign, and behind me they are dancing and clapping. This is awesome to see all these kids here gonna watch a great collegiate basketball game. We have about 5 minutes to go, about 5 minutes 52 seconds here. And the Catamounts are still shooting around and warming up. Both teams are looking incredibly good in their warm-ups, both portraying great teamwork. It's going to be an interesting game here and who portrays the best skills. Both teams, if they want to do well, will have to communicate and hustle. Hard work will beat talent here as both teams did lose their season openers. But let's see who will come out reigning as number one in today's game. I'm Natalie Valvo from Millett Hall with RedHawk Radio, and I'll catch you all back at the halftime show. Thanks for listening and enjoy the game by play-by-play by Luke West Poley and color by Zach Rengers. signing off. See you soon.
How are you? Good, thanks. Exciting, great crowd, huh?
All right, we welcome you into Millett Hall and a packed one at that here on a Friday morning. It's the class at the court game for Miami women's basketball as they host the Catamounts from the University of Vermont. Luke West, Poley, Zach Rengers alongside Zach. This is a pretty unique event, pretty awesome event. The lower bowl is full here at Millett Hall. I mean, how often do you get to see an atmosphere like this on a weekday morning at that?
Yeah, I mean, a 10 a.m., 10:15 tip, you think, what's going on at Miami? What are we doing? Kind of a little early game. Most college students aren't even up yet, but you see Millett Hall, and it is absolutely rocking right now. One of the best environments you're going to see for any of the games here, but especially for the women's team. One of the really great events that I've seen in college athletics, and this game is going to be special.
Absolutely. Miami and Vermont will start with the RedHawks 0-1, lost on Monday as they took on the Musketeers from Xavier in the first game of the doubleheader with the men's team. 87-68 was the final. We were there for that game, Zach, and it really just came down to the RedHawks were pretty competitive for about 35 minutes or so of that game, but a big lapse in that second half. Xavier goes on a run, and they kind of took it towards the end, and were able to open up that lead to a little bit bigger, probably closer than the score told in terms of that game. But for the RedHawks, that just shows a lapse for only a couple of minutes can lose you a basketball game.
Yeah, and that game was 87-68 final, but really, you're right, Luke. It felt more like a 10 to 5 point game the whole way down the stretch, and then we saw Xavier really start to get hot from behind the arc, and then Miami just couldn't keep up on their offensive end. But nonetheless, you're missing your top scorer from a year ago in Peyton Scott. She's not playing today. We're hoping, we're hearing that timetable is getting shorter and shorter before she's back. I think the goal for them is definitely to have her back for MAC play, but nonetheless, she's not playing today. You're missing her, and you're still staying competitive with a Xavier team that I think is going to surprise a lot of people going down the stretch of the season later on. So obviously, not the result you were looking for on Monday, but you're right back at it here on Friday morning, and you got a chance to get a big win in front of a big crowd.
Absolutely, potentially the biggest crowd all season for this Miami women's team. On the flip side, a Vermont Catamounts team that just ran into a buzzsaw in game number one. No other way to put it, really. They took on 11th ranked Indiana on Tuesday and fell 86-49 in that one. A really, really tough opponent for the Hoosiers, but this is a Vermont team that has been building over the past couple of years under head coach Alyssa Melissa Kresge in her 4th season. They had their first winning season under her last year, and it's a team that has a really promising future.
Yeah, and Kresge's been in the program for around 7 years now. This is her 4th year as the head coach, and I think the vibe around Vermont basketball, especially on the women's side, is that they're building a culture, they're getting better, and each year it just seems like they're taking a step up, and this year I think they plan to do the same. Obviously, you mentioned they ran into a buzzsaw against Indiana. Indiana's a top 10, going to be a top 10 team by the end of the AP polls this upcoming week. And even then, they still can build on a lot. They scored 49 points against a really tough opponent at Assembly Hall for Indiana. And you had some of your big scorers from last year. They've got 3 of their top 4 scorers back from last year. All of those players played a very nice game against Indiana. They've got a lot to build on here, and I think they're looking to pick up their first win of the season in a big way.
Absolutely, led by Emma Utterback, the senior guard out of Greenwood, Indiana. Played 37 out of 40 minutes in the opening game against the Hoosiers and had 19 points in the losing effort. On the Miami side, they were led by 2 that you really expected to have good games. You mentioned in the off-air, Zach, it kind of flew under the radar for the RedHawks, but it was a really nice game for Miami by a couple of players. Obviously, Ivy Wolf was there for Miami. She had 17 points. She's been the leader for Miami ever since Peyton Scott has not been there. But for the RedHawks, it was a really nice game as well from Maddie Kloos, the sophomore guard out of Northfield, Ohio. She led the team, 24 points. Wasn't a dominant day by any means for her, but you really just found that she picked up a basket here, picked up a basket there, and wound up leading the RedHawks in the offensive category.
Yeah, and we see Kloos and Wolf. They're going to be the 2 that you really have to bank on having a good game today against Vermont, who obviously, they're a very solid team. They've played each year competitively. They've gotten better. It seems like each year they just keep improving. But nonetheless, Kloos really showing up. We mentioned one of the quietest 24 you'll see, but nonetheless, a very nice performance for Kloos. And Wolf, we saw it. The offense is going to run through Wolf. You can't really get around that. She's going to take up the ball. She's going to facilitate for everyone. The big part is whether you can get other returning players like Richardson, like Dye at times, who played a pretty good couple minutes that she had in that Xavier game. As long as you can get gals like that in on the action as well, this could be a good game for the RedHawks.
And speaking of the Richardsons, we expect a big game, of course, from Katie, the sophomore out of Zionsville, Indiana. But how about this? Her sister, Delaney Richardson, from Zionsville, a senior on this Vermont Catamounts team. The Richardson family is here. They have shown up in numbers. There's some green, there's some red, a little bit of both. But, I mean, this is the first meeting ever between these 2 teams. How likely do you think it is when one commits to Vermont, the other sister commits to Miami, that the 2 think they're eventually going to meet on the basketball court in their collegiate career? This is something that's a pretty rare sight in college basketball.
Yeah, and it just brings up the point, how can you not be romantic about college sports? You've got just 2 unlikely opponents with 2 sisters on the team, and randomly they're meeting at a 10 a.m. game on a Friday. Stuff you couldn't even draw up in your wildest dreams, but nonetheless, great for the Richardson family. We saw them, they were actually sitting under the tunnel for Vermont. They'd moved to their now seats. We saw one of them donning a half Miami, half Vermont, repping both the RedHawks and the Catamounts here. Very cool for that family. Always love to get those interesting storylines for these games, and that could be something. Maybe they'll have a little back and forth on the court trying to figure out who's the better sister and on the hardwood.
Take a look at the starters first for the Catamounts. It'll be Bella Vito for Vermont, followed by Catherine Gilwee, Emma Utterback, Anna Olson, and rounding it out will be Delaney Richardson for Miami. Katie Richardson gonna have to wait for her turn on the bench. It will be Maddie Kloos, Sydney Watkins, Sierra Morrow, Amani Freeman, and Ivy Wolf to get things started. Miami trying to pick up their first win of the season, as is Vermont. All set to go here from Millett Hall. Crowd will rise to their feet prior to tip for the first basket for Miami. Vermont gonna wear the sharp green uniforms with the yellow accents. Vermont across the front with yellow numbers. RedHawks in the home whites. Miami across the chest, and the red numbers on front and back.
And we were talking also, Luke, before the game, not a Vermont team that brings a whole lot of size. They've got a couple girls listed at 6'2". We know how that can go. Some of those numbers can get boosted on the roster, but nonetheless, when you see them walking around the floor, it's not an imposing size like we saw from Xavier and some of the other teams that Miami will face. So nonetheless, you got a good size matchup if you're Miami in that respect.
Underway, a bit of a flub on the tip-off, somehow finds its way to the RedHawks. Wolf quickly underneath finds Freeman, or rather Maddie Kloos, and she puts it in for 2 off the glass. RedHawks take an early lead, and the crowd able to sit down just about 15 seconds in. Vermont now on offense. Vito up to the top of the key, where holding on is Olsen. Olsen looking for an option with 17 to shoot, bounces once, and now we'll hand this one off. Catherine Gilwee to the wing, now flown into the post. Olsen trying to go to work and gets the foul and the roll off the rim, or rather, she'll be called for a travel on the pivot, and so it'll be no shot, and the RedHawks will retain this 2-0 lead. Miami puts it back in quickly, up 2-0, now 9:26 and counting to go, quarter number 1. Holding on to it on the far side, now up to the top of the key for the RedHawks is Morrow. Down low, she finds Freeman, and it goes off the glass and in. Amani Freeman checks in with her first points of the game. Miami up 2 possessions now.
How about
Gilwee,
the 2 bigs right now, Luke? Just great footwork on the block. We saw one get called for a travel, but then we see Freeman able to cash in on Miami's side.
Big's gonna have to go to work. Good size matchup, as Zach mentioned in the open. Vermont's got 10 to shoot. They've got it outside the arc. This is Utterback just gonna put up a 3. That won't go. Rebound tipped around on the floor, still loose, and now the loose ball finally scooped up by Miami's Watkins. Watkins up the floor to the top of the key for Maddie Kloos. Now on the far wing, Ivy Wolf will hold on and draw up a play. Gets a screen, pulls back to the top of the key. Thought about the 3, instead finds Kloos, will take it on the far wing. That one will rattle away, and the rebound for Bellavito for Vermont. Catherine Gilwee, only Vermont native on this Catamount team, will pass to the near side. 3 ball for Utterback. That one off the rim and no good. Rebounded by Miami, Sydney Watkins, who will race up floor, finds Wolf, who's got an open look on the near wing for 3, and she cashes in.
How about this? Coming out guns a-blazing right now for Miami, and they're going to get an early timeout for Vermont. I mean, I don't think you could draw it up much better, Luke. You win the tip. You have an easy backdoor find for Kloos. You get a couple stops. You get lucky with a travel call on what should have been a nice bucket for Vermont, and now they're scoreless. You got 7 points, and you're coming out hot if you're Miami right now.
Prez Gregg is hyped courtside. RedHawks up 7-0 with 8:09 to go here in quarter number 1. Big 3 ball there from Ivy Wolf. Wolf had a lot of points, as she has every single game she's played, it seems like, in a Miami uniform last time out against Xavier. 17 of them, to be exact, had 6 steals to go along with it. But one area where they really would like to see her improve was that shooting. Just 26% from the field and just 1 for 7 from 3. But she's 1 for 1 in the game already. And the RedHawks up 7-0 here in the early goings. 8:09 to go. We'll take a short break. Be back in a moment here from Millett Hall. This is Miami Women's Basketball on Red Hawk Radio. .09 to go, and already Vermont going to have to take one of their full timeouts here in quarter number 1. Just under 2 minutes in, and the RedHawks up 7-0 here in class at the court at Millett Hall. Catamounts will inbound off the baseline coming out of the timeout. Vermont team really looking for a spark, and they've largely come out pretty flat in this one, Zach.
Yeah, they've tried to get it on the inside on a couple possessions. They had that 1-3 ball that was taken. I think that was a less than impressive look from Utterback, but nonetheless, they're going to look to feed the inside. Obviously, we saw the two bigs going at it earlier. They haven't been able to connect yet, but I think that was a much-needed timeout, because if you don't get a bucket after that 3 from Ivy Wolf and Miami does get one on their end, then you're really, really trying to dig yourself out of a big hole. So nonetheless, I think it was a much-needed timeout. You got to regroup, and you got to get a bucket here if you're Vermont.
Still waiting on media potentially. Very long time out there in the break, but this crowd is not going to quiet down at all. Long timeouts will not hamper them one bit. Out of the timeout, Gilwee will carry across half court. On the far elbow, she finds Vito. Now top of the key, Olsen. Olsen still looking heavily pressured, and a reach-in foul will be called on Amani Freeman for Miami. First foul of the game for the RedHawks.
I don't hate that foul if I'm a Miami fan there, because you're pressuring big time on Olsen. You don't want Olsen to get anything easy, and Freeman just playing good defense, kind of got a little bit of step behind, had to reach around, but nonetheless, you pick up one foul, no harm, no foul. You go take a quick break, and you're right back at it on the defensive end for Miami.
Vermont will inbound off the far sideline. Driving in is Utterback, gets the foul down the lane, but the shot will not go. Off the bottom of the backboard. And Vermont's leading scorer, Emma Utterback, will head to the line. Vermont's got a very interesting recruiting base, you could say. They've got a good amount of Indiana natives. Vermont's a very small state. As 83% free throw shooter Emma Utterback at the line. She'll knock the first one down. But you look up and down this lineup, there's a couple from New England, one from Vermont, one from Barnstable, Massachusetts on Cape Cod. Then you got some from Indiana, and then a lot of Europeans. Second shot bouncing in the air, no good, and it's rebounded for the RedHawks by Katie Richardson.
Great box out by Richardson there. That really cleaned up what could have been a bad miscue on the rebounding.
Richardson working in the post high off the left hand. That'll go. Katie Richardson checks in with her first points. RedHawks up 9-1 now with 7:30 to go here in the first quarter. Vermont in desperate need of something. Olsen thought about the three ball in the far wing. Instead, she'll drive into the post now, turns it back outside. Catherine Gilwee will step back, flies one into Olsen down low, and she'll lay that one off the glass and in. Vermont with their first field goal of the morning. 9-3 RedHawks. Wolf will hold on near the top of the key. Now we'll bounce that one to the near wing for Watkins. Watkins will wait. Utterback giving her light pressure. Now to the corner, Richardson. Back up for Wolf, who makes her way to the near elbow, fires a three, and that'll go. Ivy Wolf with a contested shot that'll knock down, and the RedHawks up 9. 6:45 to go. Wolf nearly forces a steal. Instead, on the far side, holding onto it is Emma Utterback. Utterback to the top of the key for Delaney Richardson. Pass is tipped away, and they're going to say it was off the Catamount, and it'll go the RedHawks' way. Pass was intended for Catherine Gilwee. Ivy Wolf got a hand on it, but it hit Gilwee on its way out of bounds. And it will be Miami basketball here with 6:36 to go in quarter number one.
Yeah, and right now it's coming in waves for Miami. It just seems like Ivy Wolf, when she gets hot, she's going to take shots from anywhere, and she's going to make them. Look for her to maybe take a heat check soon.
Klus down the left lane with the right hand. Nearly got a tough shot, but the rebound collected by Miami for Sierra Mora, who kicks it back out. Wolf going to drive, pulls up from mid-range, and that clatters home. Ivy Wolf feeling herself right now. She's got 8 points. RedHawks up 14-3 here, approaching 4 minutes gone by in quarter number one. Utterback, guarded by Jessie Dye. Now to the near side, a three-pointer is no good for Gilwee, and it's rebounded for Miami by Sierra Moro. This crowd is raucous. Cross half court, Maddie Klus. Gonna wave her hands as the play gets drawn up. Finds Wolf on the far elbow. Wolf surveying. Has Richardson top of the key, she'll give there. Now around the horn of the near elbow, Klus back inside for Wolf, pulls back from mid-range, and that one airballs just short of the rim, no good. Picked up for Vermont by Delaney Richardson. She will find Gilwey, who will slowly carry this one across half court. Along the near wing, bounce down low, working up the baseline as Olsen lost it, recollected though, and Utterback will put that one in.
Great backdoor cut there by Utterback, and great find by Olsen on the block. And you can tell that this Vermont team is very skilled at passing and getting it on time and on spot on these passes.
Miami tried to put one into the post there from Richardson to Kloos, and Kloos was fouled. And the foul will be on Emma Utterback. That will be her first and the team's first. Miami will inbound from the baseline, up 14-5 with 5:05 to go. Ivy Wolf will inbound from the baseline. And to the corner, she quickly finds Dye, who works to the middle. Dye off the glass, no good. Reaches up for the rebound, tipped it, but couldn't come down with it instead. It is pulled in by Vermont's Paula Gonzalez, the native of Spain. Gilwey has it now for Vermont. Now it's Gonzalez on the far elbow. Top of the key, Utterback down the lane, slips one through, and with the right hand, Myklebust puts it in. Maria Myklebust, the Norwegian, pulls the lead down to 7.
What a finish there by Myklebust, just back or shoulder to the basket, I should say. Kind of wrapped it around her defender and kissed it off the glass for an easy 2.
Wolf tried to thread one down low. The pass was kicked by a Vermont defender, and so Miami will inbound from the baseline. 4:26 to go here in quarter number 1. RedHawks leading 14-7. Miami led by Ivy Wolf, who's got 8 points already in this young game. Wolf will inbound from the baseline. Eventually it finds Jessie Dye, who will hand this one back in the center court logo to Ivy Wolf. Claire Chambers holding on now. Guarded up by Gilwey. Chambers whips one inside. Dye with the left hand, that one too low, and rebounded for Vermont by Olsen. Gilwey across half court. She had 11 points on Tuesday against Indiana. Driving down the baseline, high shot is no good from Utterback, and the rebound collected by Miami. Good shot creation, but Emma Utterback still can't find the finish she's looking for. Now Wolf with a quick 3, and she knocks it down. My goodness. 11 points in the game for Ivy Wolf, 3 for 3 from beyond the arc.
And Luke, her court vision is just on another level. Looking for a pass, she doesn't find the pass, she finds the lane right away and knew she was going to take that shot from about the other edge of the M on the court.
Driving down low for Vermont, a shot up is no good from Olsen, gets her own rebound, looking for a second attempt, and she will be fouled. Looks like they're going to call a shooting foul as she was in the process, and so she will head to the line. Foul will be on Miami's Claire Chambers, and a whole host of substitutions coming in for the RedHawks. Morrow, Kloos, and Watkins will return to the game, and for Vermont, Angela Matic, the freshman from Oops, Serbia, will check in. Anna Olsen attempting her first free throw of the year, and she'll knock it down. (17-8) Miami leads. Olsen gets the second one to bounce away, and the rebound picked up by Miami. Chambers has it, quickly fires this one up to Kloos, and now to Watkins, who will hold on the center court logo. Near side, Sierra Morrow, Minneapolis native, fakes the 3 on the jab step, now driving into the paint, turnaround off the left hand. What a finish there by Morrow. RedHawks back up into a double-digit lead, 19-8 our score with under 3 to play here in quarter number 1. Utterback to the near elbow, open 3 look is way too long there from Gonzalez. Rebound bounces around, and it looks like a foul's going to be called. It'll be on Sierra Morrow. That'll be her first, and the Bradley transfer will pick up the 3rd team foul for the RedHawks. Or I beg your pardon, the 4th team foul. It'll be an inbound on the baseline. Ivy Wolf back into the game for the RedHawks. First time she got some bench time all season, played all 40 minutes last time out. Quick shot up is no good for Vermont. It was taken by Myklebust, and it's rebounded by Miami. Klus quickly up the floor to the top of the key. Steps inside the arc, now finds Chambers on the near side. Chambers off the drive, and a layup attempt is low, no good. Klus pokes the ball free, though, after the rebound. Opens up a three-look for Ivy Wolf, and she connects.
How about Klus? I mean, she's just got a motor like no other right now. We've seen that she's yet to get into the scoring column, where she got those 2 points earlier, but she'll open up the scoring later. But what a steal, and opens up a great shot for her teammate.
Rolling around, Gonzalez can't get the finish on the layup. And the bad luck continues for the Catamounts. Quick cut down low by Klus. Shot no good, gets her own rebound and puts it in. Unbelievably gritty for Maddie Klus. And already here in the first quarter, the second timeout is going to have to come out of the pocket from Elisa Kresge. And Vermont will call it with 1:58 to go, with Miami on top 24-8. This crowd is electric here at Millett Hall. A lot to cheer about. RedHawks holding on to a 16-point lead. Back in a moment. This is Miami basketball on Red Hawk Radio. .158 to go here in the first quarter. Miami leading Vermont 24-8 here at the Class at the Court game. Catamounts in major need of a regroup. Zach, they have just been pushed flat on their back, it seems. This is one of the best performances we've seen early on from Miami in a few years.
Yeah, and I'm loving what I'm seeing from Klus right now. She's just bringing an edge to the game. We saw it. She gets a steal, opens up a shot for one of her teammates, as we see Vermont they miss on a three. We're going to see Watkins get the rebound. But then she goes down the next time, gets her own rebound, just a hustle play, and she's making a lot of them right now.
Down low off the glass. Amani Freeman puts the two in. RedHawks provide a little bit of pressure, but Vermont able to evade it, and Catherine Gilwey will carry it up the court. Under 90 seconds to play here in the first, and Miami on top by 18. Utterback looking for space around the arc to the far elbow. Olsen now to the flank. Vito thought about the shot, said she'll bounce it back down. Double covered, ball rolling on the court, scooped up by Miami. Ivy Wolf will get the steal. Tried to send a pass in that was telegraphed, but Chambers couldn't get to it. It'll fly out of bounds. Tight spot there for Ivy Wolf to try and put one in. Force a turnover on one side and then turn the ball over on the other. No harm, no foul, and Vermont will carry it back up with under a minute to play.
Yeah, and Wolf saw the passing lane and couldn't alert Chambers quick enough. We saw her screaming, trying to get Claire's attention, but unable to do so. But nonetheless, like you said, no harm, no foul. You get a turnover down there, you turn it over. We're right back at 26-8.
Miami nearly forced another, but it was knocked out of bounds. Jessie Dye and Katie Richardson check into the game. Vermont's got 23 to shoot with 54.5 to go here in the first quarter. Inbounding from the baseline is Vito. On the near side, she finds Richardson, who will hand that one back off to Vito, and she traveled. Trying to make her way towards the middle, and Bella Vito will be called for the travel. Sierra Morrow will come back into the game for Miami. Sydney Watkins exits. Maddie Klus will inbound to Ivy Wolf. Shot clock separated by 20 seconds, 46 seconds to go. Thinking about the three there was Morrow. Instead, she'll give back at the top of the key for Wolf. Drives down the lane. Off balance shot gets the foul. It won't get the roll off the rim, but Ivy Wolf will shoot two at the free throw line. Wolf, a very good free throw shooter, has made 17 in a row dating back to last year. Her last miss came against Ohio. Made her final 3 free throws in that game and has been perfect in the 2 games since. Last game of the season last year for the RedHawks and the season opener against Xavier. Wolf at the line. She's got a chance to maybe put her team up by 20 with 39.7 seconds to go here. And the first free throw swishes through.
And Wolf, I love that play on the drive. We've seen her be a shooter, a ball facilitator, but now she's able to make a physical play on the drive, draws the foul, and finds herself at the line for the first time tonight.
And knocks them both down. 16 points in this first quarter for Ivy Wolf. RedHawks up by 20. 35 seconds to go. Miami will likely get another possession with the shot clock separated by 9 seconds from the game clock. Top of the key for Vermont. Olsen holding on. Bounces to the far elbow. Eventually to the near side. Gilwey got to it. Now sent in for Utterback. Drives down the baseline. Kicks to the far corner. 3-ball from Vito's too strong. And it's rebounded by Chambers for Miami. 13 seconds to go. Shot clock is off. Wolf on the logo. Cuts back to the far side. Finds Kloos with 4 to go. Kloos down low with an open look. It won't roll her way, and he won't get the buzzer beater as the clock hits zeros and this first quarter comes to an end. No buzzer beater, but not too much of an issue on the minds of the Miami RedHawks right now. 28-8. RedHawks lead after 1 quarter of play. Vermont going to need some major adjustments. This crowd is all over them. End of 1. RedHawks on top by 20. We'll be back for the second quarter in a moment. Stay tuned. This is Miami Basketball on Red Hawk Radio. Second quarter coming up in just a few moments here from Millett Hall here at the Class at the Court game for Miami. All RedHawks through 10 minutes, 28-8. They lead over the Vermont Catamounts. And this is just that was about as good as you could draw it up. Just an unreal performance, Zach. I mean, got 16 first quarter points from Ivy Wolf. She's 5 for 6 from the field, including 4 for 4 from 3, hit a pair of free throws as well. And I mean, not really a whole lot to say probably for Deanna Hendricks in the huddle at the break.
Yeah, no, you can't really circle anything that was done wrong. You only had a couple fouls on that end, but you got to look at Vermont's play style, and they're going to draw some fouls. That's what they're known for. But realistically, this offense from Miami is something completely different than what we saw in that Xavier game. They are facilitating better. Ivy Wolf is both passing the ball around well. She's shooting well. We're seeing Kloos come out with a different energy than everyone else has on the court. And we're seeing just supporting role players get rebounds. They're doing the little things right. And I really think it's aided by this crowd that we got right now. This crowd has just been ruckus all night long, and they're going to keep it up because this crew has a lot of energy.
Absolutely. Class at the Court game, lower bowl is full here at Millett Hall. As we begin quarter number 2, Vermont will start off with possession, trailing by 20. Gilwey to the near side. Around the horn they go. Eventually Utterback floats to the near side again. Gilwey got it, gave it right back to her on the near elbow. Just inside the arc now, back outside for the Catamounts. Quick ball movement, kick to the far side. Mid-range jumper is no good. And the rebound is collected by Miami. Kloos on the elbow. Nice move, spins through the middle. Sky hook just short off the front rim. And rebounded by Richardson for Vermont.
And Kloos is just barely off on her shots right now, literally splitting hairs between them going in or out, and she's going to find it soon.
Olsen missed a layup that was not close to the rim. Dye's going to try a three. That one too long. Rebounded offensively for Miami by Morrow. Back down low. She'll draw the foul. Put the shot off the front of the rim. RedHawks will head back to the free throw line. Marissa McDonald, Westchester, Pennsylvania native, who's making her debut this season. The redshirt sophomore in Westchester, Pennsylvania, will get called for the foul. Sierra Morrow, a Bradley transfer at the line. And the first one off the back of the rim and no good. Sierra Morrow in her fourth school in 4 years. Went to Seward Community College, North Iowa Community College, was at Bradley last year, now has found a home here in Oxford with the RedHawks. Second free throw is good off the back of the rim, and the RedHawks lead by 21 now. Gilwee, guarded by Wolf, goes behind the back and floats back towards the middle, gets some space. Gilwee has Wolf recover on her, getting all kinds of trouble, bounces it to the free throw line. Olsen hands off for Utterback down the right side of the lane. That one will rattle in. 5 points now for Emma Utterback, and 2 for 5 from the field. Vermont is 0 for 5 from beyond the arc right now. That's been an Achilles heel of this team so far this morning. Down the left lane for Miami with the foul and the roll. Maddie Kloos with a chance to complete the three-point play at the line. McDonald will pick up her second foul in as many minutes. And the RedHawks on top by 21 now with a chance to add to it. Maddie Kloos, 67% free throw shooter at the line. Carla Sayala, one of the Spaniards on this Vermont team, will check into the game for the Catamounts to replace McDonald. Free throw is good for Kloos. 32-10, our score. RedHawks on top with 8:30 to go here in half number one. Gilwee, guarded by Wolf. At the top of the key, Gilwee nearly lost it, regained, bounced it down low where it was pried free from the grasp of Olsen. Picked up by Miami for Kloos. She lost that one too far out in front of her. Here's a break for Vermont. Gilwee didn't have numbers. She'll have to slow it down on the far side. Top of the key, she passes off to Utterback. Utterback will pull back to the logo. 8:03 to go here in the half. Off the screen, not a lot of space opening up. Gilwee on the far side. Comes off the screen, steps back, still no room for a three, guarded by Dye, bounces down low for Utterback, and a shot goes directly over top of the hoop, rebounded by Miami. Ivy Wolf holding on, and she will slowly carry across half court.
And it just feels like right now Vermont can't buy back-to-back buckets. We've seen a couple of those nice drives by Utterback, and she's been able to connect on some, but it just seems like next time down the floor, not able to find nylon.
Three ball for the RedHawks is no good, and it's rebounded offensively, and down the lane, the two-handed layup for Kloos is good. Maddie Kloos continues to just go after those loose balls on the floor, and she's been rewarded. She's got 9 points now for the RedHawks. 34-10, Miami on top. 7:11 to go here in the half. Richardson for Gilwee on the near elbow. Gilwee can't buy an inch of space off Wolf. Around the horn to the far side. A three ball connects for Vermont. Carla Sayala puts up her first three of the year, and she knocks it down. The freshman out of Barcelona will cut the lead down to 21. Back on the offensive side for the RedHawks. Amani Freeman directing traffic from the far side at the top of the key. A high pass that Maddie Kloos is able to handle. Kloos gets the roll but throws down low, and that one is no good for the intended target. That was Freeman.
That's a great hedge by, I think it was Ciala and Olsen up top, and they really got in the passing lanes, especially in the eye line of Kloos, and she was unable to find a streaking Freeman, who was wide open, would have had an easy bucket, but great defensive strategy there. You create a turnover, now you got to get a bucket if you're Vermont.
Richardson down low. A little space opens up. Shot is no good, though, from Mariana Dyson. And it's rebounded for the RedHawks. Vermont trying to utilize their whole bench, you can tell, but just nothing working right now for the Catamounts. 5 of 19 from the field. Kloos on the far side. Takes a step back three with some space, that wide left, and it'll airball out of bounds on the left side. You could see why it was there for Kloos. Her defender fell down. but didn't take a whole ton of time to set up for that shot. Maybe had a little more time than she initially thought. And this will be an inbound for the Catamounts. RedHawks will bring in a sub. Sierra Morrow will come in to replace Maddie Kloos. Kloos, who had 24 points on Monday against Xavier's, already got 9 here this morning. Ivy Wolf leading the RedHawks with 16. Still yet to find the scoreboard. 4 minutes in now to this second quarter. Utterback for Vermont. Bounces down low into the post. Dyson trying to go to work. And a foul will be called on the RedHawks.
And honestly, Luke, Dyson's lucky she didn't get a foul called on. She kind of did a premature box out to get some space. I've seen that called before. I think they're going to let them play. They've played a physical game to this point, but Dyson's got to be careful with that move because she just started moving her defender well before she had the ball, and that could be an issue if the refs start calling that.
Dyson will knock the first free throw down. First trip to the line this season. She played 26 games last year for the Catamounts in her freshman campaign. Second free throw is up. That one's no good. Offensive rebound for the Catamounts from Delaney Richardson. Top of the key, 3 ball for Gilwee is no good. Rebound bounces all the way outside the arc where Gilwee recollects it. Bounce down low, triple cover. That one's stolen away for the RedHawks by Watkins. Into a tight spot. Watkins was there to take it away. Watkins at the top of the key directing traffic. And a timeout will be called by Deanna Hendricks. As the RedHawks looked a little out of sorts there offensively. Lead has dwindled, if you want to call it that. Still stands at 20. RedHawks up 34-14 with 5:34 to go here in quarter number 2. We'll take a break here from Millett Hall. Class at the Court, Veterans Day here at Miami. All RedHawks, 5:34 to go in the second. 34-14 Miami. Back in a moment. This is Miami Basketball on Red Hawk Radio. Back here at Millett Hall, 5:34 to go in the second quarter. RedHawks on top by 20, 34-14. Happy Veterans Day to all those who've served Class at the Court game here in Miami. This crowd's been loud all morning long and a lot to cheer about, Zach. Nice the RedHawks played like this with a crowd like this. A game like the one against Xavier that was a defensive battle may have been a little lower in terms of energy, but this one's been pedal to the metal ever since first tip.
Yeah, and you have to wonder, maybe this women's team for the RedHawks just feeds off this energy. It certainly seems like in their former games where they haven't had this crowd, they've kind of come out flat, especially against Xavier. I think we can all agree that they did not start out nearly as well as they wanted to, but they've come out just firing here at Millett Hall. And look for Ivy Wolf to get a bucket. Before Coach Hendricks called that timeout, I was expecting an Ivy Wolf bucket. She's yet to get in the scoring column in the second quarter. She's due for one, and I think she'll get it on this possession.
Down low for the RedHawks. Freeman looks to the far elbow. Morrow for three, no good, and the rebound collected by Sayala for Vermont. Sayala quickly up the floor. Will now pull back, and wide open down low. She finds Dyson, who puts that one in. Breakdown for the RedHawks defensively. Ivy Wolf has it for Miami. On the far side, she finds Chambers. Chambers, the Westlake native, thought about the shot. Instead, she'll pull it back down and find Wolf at the top of the key. Wolf will sling it down low for Freeman. Skyhook with the turnaround shot, no good. Rebound picked it up by Sayala. Sayala slung down low. Some space opened up. It was not taken by Utterback. Instead, she finds in the corner Gilwey. Utterback has it back now, makes her way to the top of the key. You will bounce down low for Dyson. Turnaround space in the post. Off the glass and in, off the center of the backboard. And just like that, Vermont has cut this down to 16 with a pair of back-to-back buckets that Zach mentioned they couldn't buy earlier on. Wolf down the lane in the corner. Three ball too strong for Freeman, who was fouled, but the rebound recollected by Vermont. Gilwey to Utterback down low. A shot up will roll around the rim and in for Dyson. Dyson's got 7 points now, including back-to-back buckets for the Catamounts. Under 4 to play, and the lead's now down to 14. Top of the key, Wolf off the screen, no space opened up. Wolf will step back along the far side, no three. Wolf finds Dye. Dye now on the far elbow, bounces down low for Freeman. Freeman trying to go to work with 6 to shoot. She's trapped a little bit, now it's stripped from her grasp. Dyson with the steal. Quickly up the court, Utterback bounces down low. Richardson is fouled right underneath the basket. Foul was hard enough that it didn't allow a good shot attempt to get up, but it'll be 2 shots at the line for Delaney Richardson.
Yeah, and Luke, it just seems like Miami right now, they're settling on the offensive end. They had great looks earlier in this second quarter and all of the first, but now we're starting to see them, as soon as they don't get that first shot that they want, they start to get uncomfortable. They're just letting shots fly that they shouldn't let happen, and they're turning it over. Now Vermont's taking advantage. You got to get a bucket on this next trip down if you're Miami. You can't let this scoring streak go on from Vermont.
Big stuff on the line right now. Katie Richardson's got 2 points. Delaney's at the line, and her first one is good. You know, these two, Delaney's a senior, they probably will not meet again in their college careers, so obviously winning bragging rights are going to be on the line, but I imagine points are going to be there too, and the second free throw is good, so now in that race, Delaney has tied things up 2 apiece for each of the Richardsons in the game, and with 3:33 to go in the half, Miami's lead down to 12.
And credit to Vermont on the defensive end. They've taken Miami out of their element to this point in the second quarter, and Miami's going to have to get back to it right now.
Wolf on the far elbow. Slings the top of the key for Jessie Dye. Now back to Wolf with the screen. Thought about the deep three, as did Dye when she got it back. Now Dye going to try to bounce it down low for Wolf through a tight space. That will trickle out of bounds. And back to the Catamounts it goes. RedHawks only had 4 turnovers up to that point, but the majority of them have come over the past couple minutes. At the 5th for the RedHawks, 3:12 to go, and a 12-point lead that Miami is clinging to right now more than anything else. Gilwey will call a play on the near flank. Vito off the screen, top of the key, hands it off for Dyson. Dyson to the far elbow for Utterback. Push down low, and a shot up will rattle in with the foul for Anna Olsen. Anna Olsen, who led the team in field goal percentage last year with a low percentage shot there, got fouled pretty hard but still found a way. And the America East former Rookie of the Year will head to the line.
Yeah, and Luke, Dye just doesn't look like she has it right now. And she made some nice plays in that Xavier game. She's had some bad looks on the offensive end. And one of the cardinal rules is if you're going to foul someone hard, you better make sure they don't have a shot to make it. So foul them hard enough that the ball's not close to the rim. And she fouled him hard enough to draw the foul, but not hard enough to even get that ball away from the rim. So Dye's going to take a seat, and you want her to regroup because you're going to need her down the stretch.
Free throw is good. Maddie Kloos has checked in for her. And the Miami lead down to single digits, 34-25 RedHawks with 2:49 to go in the half. Watkins on the near elbow. Jabs a couple of times across the court, took like 3 steps, and there's the travel call. For a second, she had a chance to get away with it if she put up that shot, but she stuttered for a moment. That was enough for the official to call that travel, and the RedHawks will turn it over again back to Vermont. Gilwey, guarded by Wolf. Gilwey with a nice cross. One hands it to the top of the free throw line. Olsen puts up a turnaround shot. That one will rattle away and be rebounded by Maddie Kloos for Miami. Near side, open 3 for Wolf. No, too strong. And into the corner. That one will be let go by Gilwey. She'll let that one bounce out of bounds, and Vermont will get the inbound and right in front of their bench. 2:20 to go here in the half. Miami by 9. Catamounts on offense. Utterback gets around the screen. Off balance 3 as well to the left. Rebound bounces around, and it will last touch Miami as it goes out of bounds. Maddie Kloos reached around a Vermont player that was Bella Vito to try and get that rebound, and in doing so didn't really have a great chance to squeeze that ball. So from under the basket with 20 to shoot, Vermont will inbound, and a quick mid-range look opens up, and it clatters in for Delaney Richardson. And a timeout called by the RedHawks. Delaney Richardson moves in front in the family scoring race with 4 points now, and Vermont inching their way closer, only trailing by 7 now with 2:04 to go here in the half. Deanna Hendricks wants to regroup. Second timeout called by the RedHawks into the late goings of half number 1. We'll be back with more. Stay tuned. This is Miami Basketball on Red Hawk Radio. .204 to go, and the RedHawks will inbound. Here in this first half, Miami up 7 with a lead that was up to the mid-20s at one point. Vermont on a bit of a run right now. Wolf pulls back to the free throw line and clatters one in. First points of the second quarter for Ivy Wolf, who's now got 18 in the game.
Much needed bucket for the RedHawks there. Look for them to get a stop now and build on it.
Utterback kicks to the corner, now on the elbow. Gilwey back down low. That one stripped from the grasp of Olsen, and a foul will be called for Miami down low. Katie Richardson will be whistled.
And Luke, one thing I noticed, for a girl that scores as much as she does, Utterback has one of the weirdest shots I've ever seen. Just wraps it, almost Alonzo Ball-esque shot, where you wrap it all the way around your head and then kind of end up with your hips facing away from the basket. A very odd motion, but obviously a 13-point scorer in her career. She's figured out a way to make it work.
Olsen will miss the first free throw. Hasn't had it so far this afternoon, but traditionally Vermont's leading scorer. Second free throw is no good, and it's an 0 for 2 trip to the line for Olsen. Rebounded by Miami, and a wide open 3 opens up for Kloos. She'll take that all day. Defensive breakdown there for Vermont. That's going to cost them. 12 points, lead for Miami back into double digits. 1:15 to go. Gilwey gets a screen, 3-pointer, no. Rebound on the court, sticks there, scooped up from Maddie Kloos for Miami. Kloos now to the near side. Top of the key for Watkins. Watkins with a little bit of space, hands off to Wolf, who moseys her way to the near side. Into the corner, Richardson down low into the post, and with the left hand, Amani Freeman puts it off the glass and in. RedHawks lead starting to restore a bit, up to 14, 45 seconds to go. Shot and game clock separated by about 17 seconds. Utterback for Vermont. Kicks outside, Richardson for 3, bouncing around, no good. Rebounded by Olsen, and she will collect the loose change. Olsen now Vermont's leading scorer with 8 points.
Nice play there by Olsen. Just set up shop under the rim and grabs an easy rebound, puts it up for 2, and that's much needed for Vermont. ending that scoring run for Miami.
Shot clock is off with 13 seconds to go. Freeman back out, and a two-pointer good for Watkins. 6 seconds to go. Carrying for Vermont is Gilwey. Wolf tried to pry it away, and now a deep shot will be taken and hit by Delaney Richardson as time expires from the logo. Wow. Delaney Richardson, who has gotten the best of her sister after a quiet first quarter. Delaney had 2 points, or rather, Katie had 2 points, Delaney had none. And now for the Catamounts, Delaney Richardson up to 7 points in the game, but her team still trails by double digits with the lead at 11 at the break. So Zach, solid start for the RedHawks. They kind of backed off the gas a bit, a little towards the end of that second half, but still a pretty sizable lead, and a lot to like about how you played in the opening half heading into the locker room.
Yeah, and this team's very streaky right now. We saw them earlier in the game. They came out firing. They had a great first quarter, and then about 4 minutes and change in the second, and then we saw them kind of hit a wall right away, and they were flat. They couldn't get shots on the offensive end. They were giving up just about everything on the defensive end, but now they're kind of back to their early ways. They're getting high percentage shots. They've made a 3 or 2 here and there. They've kind of replenished that lead. It's back up to 11. I think you're comfortable with that if you're Coach Hendrick, going into halftime, regroup, and come back out firing in the third quarter.
43-32 our score. Miami leads Vermont here at the Class at the Court game from Millett Hall. We'll be back with our halftime report in just a moment. Stay with us for more Miami basketball on Red Hawk Radio.
Hello, Miami fans. It is Natalie Valvo back here with your halftime report. And wasn't that a great first and second quarter and a great calling by Luke and Zach, who are sitting right next to me on the table here. We have a great game. The score of the half ended Miami 43, Vermont 32, and that first quarter ended with Miami up 28-8. With Clue started off the first quarter scoring her first bucket of the game, for both teams. Ivy Wolf had an incredible first quarter, scoring 16 points with an assist and a steal. She brought the electricity. I have never seen somebody command the court and have the vision of the court like Wolf does. She is a sophomore guard. And that potential that I've been seeing out here on the court, this Red Hawk team's got great success for the future to come. She knows where she wants to be. She knows where she wants to shoot. She knows who she wants to pass to, and she makes it happen. Any team would be lucky enough to have a leader like her, and thankfully us Red Hawks, we've got her. Ending the half, Wolf ended with 18 points, making 6 of her 8 field goals, 4 of her 3 points, and going 100% 2 for 2 on her free throws. She still only has 1 assist and 1 steal, but has played a total of 19 minutes. Cluse has a total of 12 points, going 5 for 11 from the field goal, 1 for 3 points, and 100% for free throws, 1 for 1. She has an outstanding number of rebounds, 6 rebounds just in this first half alone. She could be looking to get 12 rebounds total this game if she keeps up that consistency. She has 3 assists and 1 steal, playing a total of 16 minutes. Cluse and Wolf are like LeBron James and D. Wade out there on the court. They are in sync and know where each other want to be. I have also not seen that kind of athleticism in women's basketball like I'm watching those two of them play. All these girls are playing hard and they're playing athletically. They're playing fast-paced basketball, and it is so much fun to watch. You have forward Richardson, who has 2 points. She went 1 for 1 on field goals, has 1 rebound, 1 assist for this game. Over on Vermont, you have Utterback, who has had 5 points, going 2 for 7 for her field goals, and 0 for 1 on 3 points. She is 1 for 2 on free throws, having no rebounds, but 5 assists, which is what you want to see from a senior guard. So the coach over at Vermont still has to be happy with how she's performing. She is working hard. They have been doing a lot of substitution over here, trying to find some groove to throw off Miami's groove, because Miami is like a well-oiled machine today here at Millett Hall. I cannot iterate how fun it is to watch this team play. Also with some outstanding points is Olsen, who has 8 points, 3 for 7 from the field goal, 2 for 5 from the free throw, and 4 rebounds, 1 assist. You have Richardson, who has 7 points, 2 for 4 from the field goal, 1 for 3 from 3 points, 2 for 2 on free throws, and 5 rebounds. Overall, both teams have been playing well, but Miami has trumped them so far in that first half. And going into the second half, quarter 3, it's going to be interesting to see what the energy they bring. The most important part about that first minute in the third quarter of who controls the game is the energy that the team brings. So if Miami comes out bringing that same energy they brought out in the first quarter, they've got this game. But if they lose some of that oomph and Vermont's able to bring it a little bit, it's going to be a close game. I mean, Vermont has closed this first half here and there, but Miami ultimately has maintained a stable lead of at least 10 points. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Like I said, Miami's got to come out, gunslinging in this third quarter if they want to keep this momentum going, and I think they will. You have Peyton Scott, who's out injured with a knee injury, and she's stepping it up on the sideline too, coaching. At first, I actually thought she was a coach when I was over there watching, but she's, really helping out her teammates and being what a good team player should do. As well as for the bench players, they are cheering on their teammates. It's just all good energy over on Miami's bench, and they're communicating like no other. Something that I appreciate, too, is when, it's a dead ball, that team huddles up, figures out what they want to do. They are on the same page. That's the biggest thing that's been working for this Miami team, is that they are one. They are a rock, and they are not being able to be moved. Instead, they are the ones doing the shifting. I got to highlight here, too, I said in my pregame show that there's about 1,400 kids here from kindergarten to 5th grade. And oh my gosh, have they brought the energy themselves, I think, fueling the Miami team. The Lady RedHawks, I could tell, were loving it, egging them on, waving them to get louder. They're currently doing a halftime shootout right now. They're adorable. They did at the end, in between the first quarter and second quarter, they did the I don't want to be a chicken, I don't want to be a duck, so I shake my butt dance, and they were hamming it up. This is awesome to see these kids here getting into it, and Miami is not disappointing with the game they are playing. I'm going to take a quick break, but I'll be right back in just a couple of minutes. This is Natalie Valvo from Millett, Oxford, Ohio, Red Hawk Radio. It's 11:10 p.m., and we've got a great game ahead of us. And we are back. About 5 minutes remaining in this halftime. I wanted to highlight Watkins. She's played amazing. That is, Sydney Watkins. She's had 4 rebounds. Hang on, I'm looking at this right. Yes, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal. But she comes out of nowhere. She's a smaller guard, comes out of nowhere. But boy, can she jump. And she jumps over those Vermont girls, getting those rebounds and passing it out to Kluse or Wolf. You know, what this Vermont team does not want to do is leave Wolf open, or else they are in danger, and the Wolf pack will be shooting that ball. She has been consistent, and she knows her shot. She likes that left wing, and she's good at it too. She's got her niche, and if she keeps going at it, she's going to be deadly this coming half. As well as for Freeman, she has 6 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. You know, this is what's really working for this Miami team, is that they are out-rebounding Vermont. They are getting those boards, especially those D boards, and pushing the ball down the court. The one thing I would like to see a little bit more is for them to get some of those O boards a little bit, but they're doing a good job on it, because when they don't, you know, that team is back there, right there in defense. So that's what's working for them, is that they're getting back in defense to get those rebounds, to get those steals. They're playing great defense, great job communicating. You know, it's going to be hard for Vermont. And I don't think Vermont, from what I've seen, has many good shooters. And so they're trying to drive, but Miami is doing a great job of plugging that key and making it difficult for them to hit those layups or even short jumpers. And right there, since all of our girls are there, they're able to get those D boards and push the ball down the court. You have Vermont coming back on the court right now with 3 minutes and 50 seconds to go. They're going to start warming up here. You know, like I said, a lot of this will tell what type of energy they bring out in this beginning of the third quarter. And here come your RedHawks running out on the court too. Oh, and they look energized. They look good. They look fresh. They look ready to go. So with 3 minutes and 27 seconds here, I'm going to sign off, and I'll see you back at the post game from Millett. This is Natalie Valvo, Red Hawk Radio, Oxford, Ohio.
Welcome back here inside Millett Hall, all set to go for half number 2 between Miami and Vermont. RedHawks leading by 11 at the break, 43-32 is our score. We are on class at the Court Day, Veterans Day here from Millett Hall. Very, very big and loud crowd through the opening 20 minutes of play, and of course, these kids got to stay. They got no choice. This crowd has not dwindled in size one bit. Request Poley, Zach Rengers alongside. And Zach, things were very good for the RedHawks and very bad for Vermont throughout the majority of that first half. Catamounts found their stride a little bit. They were shooting at one point in the low 20s in terms of percentage, up to 37.5% right now from the field. With the RedHawks, though, still shooting at a very, very hot 51.5% as a team from the field, including a 5 for 11 mark from three. Zach, this was a lead that was very big. It's gotten smaller. We mentioned there are things to work on for the RedHawks. If you played out that energy that you had in the early goings throughout the entirety of that first half, that may have been about as close to perfect as you could get. But like all things, you know, it usually will come to an end, and it did for the RedHawks towards the tail end of that first half, and they really had some things to work on, it's safe to say, after what unfolded in those final minutes.
Yeah, definitely have some things to work on, but it was good to see Miami finally kind of got back in that groove those last 2 minutes before halftime, and now that you're right back to it. You got the energy in this place, like you said, they're not going anywhere. And I think they're buying into the philosophy, if we're going to be here, let's be loud. And they're going to have to feed off that energy here and get back to that big lead that they had early in the first.
Underway here in quarter number 3. RedHawks will start off with possession down the left lane. A shot attempt is too low for Kloos. And the loose ball is picked up by Catherine Gilwey for Vermont. Into the corner, Emma Utterback gets off a screen deep, 2 with her foot on the line, in and out. And the rebound had to be saved by Miami's Amani Freeman right into Bellavito, put it in. On the rebound, Freeman, or I beg your pardon, that was Maddie Kloos, touched it, so she had to go chase it out of bounds and just threw it back in as a last-ditch effort, threw it right into Bellavito under the basket, who was wide open.
Yeah, and you don't love that because one of the cardinal rules, you don't save a ball under your own basket, and we see that's why you get an easy shot for Vito, but nonetheless, you're still up 9 points, just got to go and get a bucket now.
Foul is called as Ivy Wolf was holding on to it for Miami. She was fouled non-shooting, so she will inbound quickly. Almost a picturesque play there. A makeshift alley-oop is finished by Maddie Kloos. High pass, and in one motion, Kloos caught and shot well in the air. The RedHawks lead is back out to 11. Wolf stripped that ball free from Gilwey, but it just rolled harmlessly into the scores table. And so Vermont will keep possession. 9:03 to go, 57 seconds here into our third quarter. Miami lead stands at 11. Utterback. And that ball tipped away. Sydney Watkins whistled for the reach-in foul. Third personal foul for Sydney Watkins. First team foul for the RedHawks here in quarter number 3. And a quick steal off the inbound by Watkins. She finds Kloos down low. Kloos is blocked, but a foul called on Delaney Richardson. So a good steal. We saw Watkins get a little over-aggressive, but a really good job to dial it back enough to not get called for the foul on that second reach in, but still keep enough there to get that steal.
Yeah, and it just seems like, Luke, right now, this Miami crew is just scrappy. It just seems like whenever there's a 50-50 ball or just a play that can be made, they're making that play, and we see it there. A perfect example, Watkins jumps that passing lane, kind of stayed back, almost like when you're playing Madden and you user lurk with your linebacker, stay just behind the receiver. That's exactly what she did. Stayed right behind to elicit that pass and then jumps right in front of it, gets the steal. Nice pass to Kloos. Kloos goes up, gets fouled, and goes 1 for 2 at the line.
So after the 1 for 2, RedHawks on top by 12, and that time Kloos a little over-aggressive. And a reach-in foul. She slapped on the arm of Carla Sayala. 46-34, Miami on top. For Maddie Kloos, that is her first personal. Gilwey all the way across the court to the near elbow. Into the corner, now sent into the post. Double covered was Olsen, and she was fouled.
Luke, that's 4 fouls now. Miami's got to be careful, or else Vermont's going to be shooting free throws for a long while in this third quarter.
So back-to-back fouls on Maddie Kloos. And quickly off the inbound, a shot put up that is no good. Olsen had the attempt, rebounded by Miami. Klus works to the near side. Watkins crossing back and forth, step back, free throw line, jumper, clatters away. Now Vermont on offense. Utterback drove down the baseline into the near corner. Three ball is good. Carla Sayala, who is 2 for 2 from the field, 2 for 2 from beyond the arc with 6 points. Miami lead is down to 9. Just over 2 minutes gone by. Working in the post. Morrow turned it around. Her first attempt was blocked. Second try, she's fouled. Put it off the underside of the rim, but she will head to the line to shoot 2.
And I think Miami got away with one there, Luke. It certainly looked like when she grabbed that first rebound off the side of the backboard, she shuffled the feet a little bit before going up. But nonetheless, no harm, no foul. You pick up the foul, and you got to. Let's see if a Miami player can go 2 for 2 at the line. We saw Ivy Wolf do it earlier in the game, but we've yet to see it for many of the other players. It just seems like when they go to the line, they'll get 1 of 2, and then they're done. And we want to see them finish off both of them here, get the lead back up to 11 points.
Miami, that's always been a solid free throw shooting team under Deanna Hendricks, 80% on the season, but the first one won't go. For Morrow, she was 1 for 2 coming into this. Did not shoot any free throws against Xavier. Second attempt is good, swished right through. RedHawks lead is 10. 7:48 to go here in the third quarter. Gilwey's gonna rally the troops. In the corner, pass is sent back out, intended for Gilwey, tipped away by Dye. Gilwey got it back, tried to throw it off Dye out of bounds, but she was not able to do so, and the RedHawks will get possession on the far side. Jessie Dye, who you mentioned, Zach, struggled a little bit in that first half with a nice attempt to cause some chaos there. Now the RedHawks rewarded with an offensive possession. Ivy Wolf at the top of the key. Bounce pass for Jessie Dye. Threads one in for Klus, will step back a deep 2 and knock it down.
And that's her spot, Luke. She's been money from that little mid-range. It almost reminds me of Paul Scruggs back in the day for Xavier. He was just always, there's certain players, it's just that's their spot on the floor. Klus right there. That's where she needs to be shooting.
In the post, Dyson lost it. Loose ball picked up and floated by Utterback. But the rebound is picked up by Miami after the miss. Wolf finds a wide open Morrow top of the key, and that one rolls all the way around the rim and out. Rebound collected by Dyson. Gilwey's got it for Vermont. Miami leading by 12. 6:40 to go here in the third. Gilwey having trouble with Wolf on her. Wolf dove at an attempt of getting a steal, but Dyson was able to get that basketball. Top of the key, fake shot from Ciala, opens up a look down low. Euro step off the glass. She'll get the foul. That one too strong, and the shot was not good.
And Luke, we mentioned how Miami got away with one down on their end. It looked pretty easily saw that she took 3 steps there, and I think we see the groans of the Miami faithful here. It certainly felt like Vermont, the Catamounts, could have been whistled for a travel.
So Ciala will be at the line to shoot 2. And the first one off the back of the rim. And that will not be good for her. RedHawks on top by 12 with 6:30 to go here in the third quarter. Second free throw rolls its way around and finds its way in. Lead is cut to 11. Wolf tried to find a backdoor cut. That one intercepted by Dyson. Now Gilwey for Vermont. Able to get a pass down low that was blocked by Dye, and the rebound scooped up by Klus. It was blocked up in the air. Klus now trying to go both ends of the court. Floater shot no good. Rebound picked up by Miami's Richardson, and she will be fouled. Ariana Dyson will be whistled for the foul. That'll be the 4th team foul for the Catamounts. And Katie Richardson will be at the line to shoot the pair. First shot will go through. Second shot bounces high and away, but Richardson gets her own rebound after it took a hop off the court. Wolf had it stripped away. Richardson is there on the ball support. She lost it, and now it's picked up off the court by Olsen for Vermont. Wild sequence there, and the Catamounts come out with possession. Gilwey trying to put the spin cycle on the far side on Ivy Wolf. Eventually around the horn to the near side, it found Ciala. Ciala to the top of the key for Olsen, who put it down low. Skyhook from Dyson will go.
It's a nice move in the paint there by Dyson. Obviously, just a nice finish around the rim, and she's been very good down low for Vermont all day. They should really try to feed her down the stretch because she's got it going right now.
Dye put up a 3 in and out. Contested attempt there from Jessie Dye. Now in the corner for Vermont. Ciala off the screen. Pass to the near side, and the 3-ball will rattle in for Gilwey. Catherine Gilwey, who had 11 points and shot 50% from beyond the arc, able to cut this lead down to single digits, stands at 7. Chambers for Miami, with her back turned to the basket, looking for an option with 12 to shoot. She'll just have to punch that one out to the logo where Dye can get there. Now Wolf with 7 to shoot, gonna step back for a deep 3, and that one off the iron, and rebounded by Utterback for Vermont. Utterback quickly up the court, finds a wide open look on the wing for Gilwey. 3-pointer is short, rebound is tapped to the far side by the Catamounts, bounced off Ivy Wolf, and out of bounds. Really nice play there by Olsen to bounce that one off Ivy Wolf as her momentum was carrying her out of bounds. It will be Catamount possession underneath the Miami basket when we return from this media timeout. This lead keeps getting smaller. Vermont only trailing by 7 now. Catamounts with a chance to make it even closer when we return. Miami basketball is back in a moment on Red Hawk Radio. Luke West, Poley, Zach Rengers alongside. 4:28 to go here in quarter number 3. Miami and Vermont here on a Friday morning. RedHawks on top by 7. Zach, this is probably one of the more well-attended weekday morning games I think I've ever been to.
Yeah, you kind of look at this one on the schedule and you have to wonder what's up with this. A 10-15 tip for a Miami women's team against an out-of-state opponent, but hey, grade schools showed up. They're loud. They're having a good time. I think this whole place is just full with a great atmosphere right now, and Miami showing up. They got to reel it back in, up 7 after being up around 25 earlier in this game. They got to kind of reel it in here, but It's been a great environment and been a lot of fun.
So Vermont to inbound, and under the basket, Utterback with her back turned is just going to race this one back outside. Utterback at the top of the key gives the play call. With Ivy Wolf guarding her, Utterback with a little bit of space opening up in mid-range. Instead, it'll be kicked all the way around to the near side with 4 to shoot in the post. Little sky hook bounces off the inside of the rim and away, where it can be rebounded for Kloos. For Miami, Kloos has got it. Punches the ball down low. Freeman working in the post, and she knocks that one off the glass and in. Amani Freeman going to work in the paint. RedHawks by 9.
Nice finish off the glass for Freeman there. Gotta love that if you're on the offensive end for Miami. High percentage shot, able to convert.
In the post for Vermont, Olsen double covered. Able to find Dyson outside, whipped across to the near side of the paint, and now to the near corner with 11 to shoot. Utterback bobbled it, got it back, drives down low to the baseline. A really nice finish with the hand, and she's gonna get the blocking foul as well. So, and one for Emma Utterback. Sydney Watkins will pick up her 4th personal foul, team's 5th. And Emma Utterback will head to the line. And she'll knock the free throw down. 3-point play is complete. The RedHawk lead down to 6. Vermont now shooting the bonus. Wolf to the far side. She finds Watkins. Watkins back top of the key for Wolf, who puts it down low for Freeman. Little turnaround left-hander, and that one is good. Amani Freeman, the Avon, Indiana native, continuing to do good things down low. RedHawks lead is back out to 8 with 3:07 to go here in the third. For Vermont, Ciala, top of the key for Dyson. Now near wing, Gonzalez surveying with 15 to shoot. Top of the key, Olsen jabs. And you get a travel call, I believe, on Vermont.
I think they got him for a 3-second for Dyson there, but honestly, I'm not surprised that got called, Luke, because she's been living down there, and like we mentioned earlier, she does that kind of move where she'll like prematurely box out her defender to get some space, and I think she might have just done that to the point where she was in the lane, didn't realize she was there, and 3 seconds call comes and get a turnover.
Kloos down the left lane with the foul and the finish.
She's scrappy, Luke. She is scrappy and just makes all these tough shots, and there's not really a high percentage shot for Kloos. She just finds a way to rattle it home.
Kloos now the leading scorer for the RedHawks with 19. And make it 20 on the free throw. 3-point plays on either side, and the RedHawk lead is 8. Both teams now shooting the bonus with 2:48 to go here in the third. 55-46 your score now, with Miami in the lead. 2:40 to go here in the third. At the free throw line, Olsen surveys, hands it off to Utterback as she makes her way to the far side. Utterback cuts, gives into the corner. 3-ball Ciala, way too strong, airballed right into the arms of Maddie Kloos. RedHawks race up the floor. Wolf floats one up top, now back down low. Morrow trying to go to work, double cover, draws a hard foul. She tried to thread between a couple of defenders. And Sierra Morrow will head to the line. 15th foul for the Catamounts. And Morrow with a chance to put Miami back out in front by double digits.
And Luke, it just makes you wonder, what is going to happen to this women's team once they get Peyton Scott back?
Yeah,
because
really.
If they're playing this well, and then you add in a 19 points per game scorer from a year ago, that just seems like a recipe for disaster for a lot of the other MAC teams once we get to MAC play.
Second free throw is good after the first one was missed. Scoreboard is all over the place right now. Stats say Miami by 11. Scoreboard says Miami by 12. We'll go with 12. Olsen trying to go to work down low, able to get around all the RedHawk defenders and finish with the left hand. And it is indeed now 58-48 Miami. Wolf waves the hand, 1:50 to go here in the third. Open look. Morrow took a second to set, gave a three. That one in and out. Rebounded for Vermont by Bellavito. Catherine Gilwey now. On the near side finds Olsen, who will drive up the baseline, try to give a pass through. Lost it, regained, and finished.
Freeman thought she was going to get whistled for the foul, kind of stopped playing mid-play, and that was an easy recollect and run towards the basket for Olsen.
Kloos, top of the key for Wolf. Wolf tried to step back. Utterback giving her no space. Now Jessie Dye has it. She jabs. Utterback still giving Miami nothing. Kloos with it in the same spot with 8 to shoot. Fires a deep three. That one hammers the rim and heads far and away from the basket where it can be secured by Gilwey. Now into the far corner for Vermont. Utterback floats one up top for Richardson, and that's an easy finish for her.
Nice cut by Richardson, an even better find by Utterback. Just saw her the whole way, dumps it off, a little floater pass, and that's about as easy it's going to get for Richardson.
Miami leading by 6 now with the game and shot clock separated by 16 seconds. 33 seconds to go here in the quarter. Down the baseline, turnaround shot by Kloos. She's fouled, shot is short, but Kloos will head to the line. Gilwey picks up her second. And with 29.1 seconds to go and the shot clock now off, Miami will have a chance to shoot at the line with Maddie Kloos at the charity stripe. Maddie Kloos will roll the first one in. Now 4 for 5 in the game from the line. RedHawks lead by 7. And a lead that was as large as 24. Second shot is good as well. 60 to 52. Shot clock is off. 25 seconds remain here in the third, as the crowd increasingly grows in volume. Gilwey is going to try to dribble off as much of this clock as she can at half court. Kloos giving her some light shadowing. Now Gilwey going to put this one inside the arc with 8 seconds left. Olsen back for Utterback. Far side, Gilwey, open three. She connects. 1 second to go. Wolf will curl one up with one hand. That's well short. And Catherine Gilwey, sophomore guard out of Shelburne, Vermont, gives the Catamounts the energy they needed going into the third quarter break. They've cut the lead down to 5. We played 3. 10 minutes to go here in regulation time. We didn't think it was going to be this close at the beginning, but here we are. RedHawks with a narrow lead as we head to the final frame. Stay tuned, an exciting finish at hand here from Millett Hall. More Miami basketball on the way from Red Hawk Radio next. Final quarter ready to go here from Millett Hall in the class of the court game between Miami and Vermont. RedHawks on top by 5. They ran the Students First Teachers Relay for the Talawanda Elementary Schools here during the quarter break. And my elementary school gym teacher, Miss Eckerly, just blew it at the line for the Kramer teachers.
Oh, no.
Lost the ball. It was a relay with, I believe, 5 teachers and 5 students. And the Kramer teachers were in the lead to win. And right at half court, you had to dribble the basketball down and back. Right at half court on the way back on the final one with Miss Eckerly in the lead for the Kramer teachers. She lost it. I believe the Kramer students won, so congrats to the Kramer students. But man, that's brutal.
Luke, I've been a part of a lot of different sporting events. This is by far the most fun and special one that I have seen, especially for being a college event.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
It doesn't get much better than this.
It's a fun one. My friend who was also here and was also in elementary school just texted me Miss Eckerly choke of the decade, so it's unfortunate. The newspapers have already gotten hold. Regardless, back underway here in this fourth quarter with Vermont trailing by 5. They've got possession to start things off. Utterback couldn't get the foul drawn, and a 3-ball is good for the Catamounts. And so now the lead cut down to just 2.
Need a bucket if you're Miami.
Down low, Freeman kicks it all the way outside, top of the key. Fake shot from Klus now, mid-range, off balance attempt, somehow finds its way in. Not the prettiest, but you'll take it from Maddie Klus. That's been the theme. 22 points for Klus.
Yeah, she can ball. There's no other way around it. Just finds nylon at a high clip.
Richardson, cross-court feed. Vito on the far side. And a foul called offensively on Vito as she mowed down Claire Chambers. And the RedHawks will get it back.
And it felt, Luke, like that one was coming for a while. We've seen a couple plays in this second half where RedHawks have ended up on the floor. We've had no call, especially on that last trip down for Vermont. And eventually you get the call there. So kudos to Chambers for drawing that.
Klus to the far side. Now Wees back to the near side. Finds Chambers top of the key. On the far wing, Morrow hands off to Wolf. Open 3, short. Rebounded by Gilwee for the Catamounts. Cross half court, Vermont trailing by 4. Vito to the near wing for Utterback. 3-ball, no good for Richardson. And the rebound for Klus for Miami. Richardson, not one to have shot the 3 so far this morning. As heading down and getting fouled there is Klus for Miami on the shot attempt. And Delaney Richardson coming back on defense will get the foul. Second team foul already here through a minute 36 in this fourth quarter for the Catamounts. Maddie Klus will shoot 2 off the shooting foul. First shot is good for Klus. Klus, who played 27 minutes through the opening 3 quarters and change. Only had 24 in the opener against Xavier. She'll knock the second one down. Impressive to have 24 points in 27 minutes. She's now got 25 points. And a pass errantly coming up the court for Vermont will head out of bounds. Utterback just did not have the target there that she thought.
And Luke, they actually whistled her. Yeah. How about that? I thought it was just an emphatic signal for the possession, but nonetheless, they get her for the foul there, and that's big. That's 2 charges in the last couple minutes. You don't love that if you're Vermont. You got to clean it up.
And the first 2 charges of the game here in this fourth quarter. Off-balance shot, Klus won't matter. Puts it right in. Zach, I don't think Klus has taken a shot that has looked similar to another shot all day. They have all been unique in their release point, in their setup, in everything, but she's just found a way. She's got 28 points now and getting ready to shoot for maybe 29.
Yeah, and it almost seems like, Luke, she's only comfortable when there's someone in her face. I think the couple open looks she's had tonight, she's missed, but you're absolutely right. Nothing looks the same, just a bucket getter. Maddie Kloos, 29 points. What's not to love?
She hit the free throw, so the RedHawks now up by 9. Good start to this fourth quarter. Whistle and a foul away from the ball underneath the basket in the paint for Miami. It'll be on Amani Freeman. That'll be her third foul, first here in this fourth quarter for the RedHawks. Inbounding from the baseline. Ciala floats one up top, quick shot, short for Olsen, and rebounded for Miami with 3 white jerseys there. Freeman hold the ball above her head. She finds Wolf. Wolf thought about it. Instead will kick to the corner. Morrow for 3. That's good.
They're streaky, Luke, but they seem to find it at the right times, and this fourth quarter is very indicative of that.
Timeout, Vermont. Miami on top by 12. 7:23 to go here in the fourth, and an ideal start for the RedHawks. A 7-0 run to begin things here in quarter number 4. Vermont's going to need some energy that has seeped its way back onto the RedHawks side of things. We'll see if they can get it when we come back. This is Miami Basketball on RedHawk Radio. Fourth quarter, 7:23 left in regulation, and a Miami lead that was as high as 24 went down to 5 at the third quarter break, is now back out to 12. 70-58. Miami on top in a game of streaks, a game of runs. Request Poley, Rengers alongside. They're in the annual class at the court, special class at the court game. Catamounts will inbound after calling timeout. Sierra Morrow hit a 3 for Miami. That forced it. Morrow's got 8 points in the game. RedHawks have 3 players in double figures. Freeman, Wolf, and Kloos with a whopping 29. Ivy Wolf, though, only 2 points since the first quarter.
And Luke, the energy just punched back into this place. It seemed like maybe they were mellowing out a little bit, but nah, we're getting right back up on our feet. And credit to the DJ today. He's kept them in it, and they've loved the song choices all night long.
Shout out DJ Steve the Greek, the Miami Athletics DJ. Vermont will inbound. Gilwey's got it top of the key, and will float one up into the high post for Olsen. Handoff as Utterback makes her way towards the middle, now down the right lane, kicks into the corner, wide open look for Ciala for 3, and she hits. Good play drawn up out of the timeout. Now for the RedHawks, Maddie Kloos into the paint, spinning, bullet to Freeman, that deflected away from her, and racing back, Richardson picks it up for Vermont. Into the corner, Ciala with another open look, this time on the near wing, that time it hits the iron, and kicks away, rebounded for Miami by Morrow.
Maddie Wolf still without a point in this second half. Just she's been facilitating, but she'd like to see her get back in the scoring column. Next bucket will put her up to 20.
Wolf double covered into the corner, and an errant pass from Claire Chambers that was intended down low for Freeman got tipped away. And the RedHawks will inbound from the baseline with 7 to shoot. 6:28 to go here in the fourth.
And Luke, I love what Freeman's bringing to the post right now for Miami. Just physical. I know she had a couple miscues on the last couple plays, but nonetheless, you got to love what she's bringing to the table. She's very physical, and she just brings size. Like stuff you just can't teach. She's got it, and she's been really good down there. I think Miami's got to love her going down the stretch.
Having issues with the clock. Started to run before the ball was inbounded. There's been some issues with the clock throughout the day. That's normally my dad's job, but he has a real job and can't work 10:15 a.m. tip-offs, unfortunately. So they got a fill-in working today. Wolf inbounding from the baseline. High pass secured with one hand by Kloos, but then she lost it, pulled away for the Catamounts by Utterback with the steal. Utterback settles on the near wing with Wolf on her. Utterback around the screen at the free throw line. Now down the right lane with the roll and the finish. 10 points now for Emma Utterback, Vermont's leading scorer coming into this morning. And the Catamounts have cut the lead to 7. Miami going to try to work this clock a little bit. Morrow on the left wing. Holds on, now floats towards the middle. Lightly covered, she'll hand off to Wolf. 10 to shoot for the RedHawks. Wolf just going to bully her way down low now. Pull up shot attempt is well short. Rebound hauled in by Utterback. Vermont with numbers going the other way, 3-on-2. Deep left wing three. No good off the hands of Gilwey. Rebound tipped up in the air. Saved and hitting into the scores table is Utterback, but it's scooped up for Miami by Kloos, who now finds Wolf. Top of the key, contested three from Chambers off the mark on the right side. And the loose ball scooped up by Gilwey. Fast-paced back and forth, turning into a track meet over the last couple of possessions, and now Vermont will settle things down. 70-63 Miami, approaching 5 minutes to go. 5:12 remaining here in the fourth. Utterback found the cut. Richardson down low, gets the foul, and floated that one over top of the basket. It'll be called on Miami's Maddie Kloos. Kloos, with some words to the official, wanted to draw the offensive charge.
And they're conferencing here. Certainly doesn't seem like this foul is set in stone just yet.
The call on the court is a blocking foul on Kloos. Kloos was very adamant that she drew the charge, as is Deanna Hendricks on the sideline for Miami. And the call's going to stand. And so it'll be 2 shots at the line for Delaney Richardson. She's got 9 points for Vermont, eclipsing her total of 8 from the season opener. Off the rim and in on the first free throw, make it 10 points now into double figures for Richardson. One of 3 Catamounts, along with Olsen and Utterback, to be with 10 plus. Make it 11 after the second free throw make. 5-point lead for the RedHawks as we have reached the midway point of quarter number 4, under 5 to go. On the right wing, Morrow holding on to the top of the key for Chambers. Claire Chambers gets a screen, not a lot of room from it. And now driving up the left side, Watkins with a high shot off the glass that rolls off the rim, no good. Rebound for Ciala for the Catamounts. Gilwey onto the right wing. A nice move, passes to the near side. Dyson to the near wing, got it back and finished in the face of Watkins. Timeout called by Vermont as the lead is cut down to 3. You can tell, though, that the brains of these Vermont players starting to line up. They're starting to think a little more cohesively, Zach.
Yeah, and that was a great find there to Dyson on the block. You've seen that time and time again, Luke, it just seems like a broken record on that offensive end. When they're successful, they're doing backdoor cuts or they're doing a simple high ball screen with a cut to the basket, and they're able to just thread that pass over the defenders, and that's what they've done well all night long. Same thing there, able to find Dyson on a roll to the basket, and she's able to connect with a very high percentage on those shots.
So a timeout here with 4:29 to go, and we will take a timeout as well. RedHawks lead the smallest it's been. 3 points, 70-67, our score into the final stretch here from Millett Hall. Back in a moment. This is Miami Basketball on Red Hawk Radio. .429 to go here in the fourth quarter. Miami leading Vermont down to 3 points now. 70-67 is our score, with the RedHawks in front in the final home game for Miami for the next 2.5 weeks. RedHawks will not be at home again until Monday, November 28th, where at 7 p.m. they will take on the Ramblers from Loyola, Chicago. Vermont has done a really good job to claw their way back into this game. They trailed at 1 point with 7:24 to go in the second quarter, 34-10. And it's now just a 3-point game with 4:29 to go in regulation. Miami will have possession coming out of the timeout. They're waiting on the media timeout to come back. And now here we go. Ivy Wolf will carry it up the court for the RedHawks. Wolf to the near wing. Watkins just holding on to it right now. Top of the key, Klus trying to pull a move. Second attempt, runs a defender over, and she traveled on the second effort as she was kind of trying to get over the body of Gilwey, who had fallen onto the ground. And the RedHawks will turn it over.
Yeah, and that's a great defensive play by Gilwey. What have we said all night, Luke? It's that she really thrives, Maddie Klus does, when there's contact, and I think that's exactly what she was looking for. She kind of lowered the shoulder, expecting to get that contact, and then when Gilwey just flat out fell over, she couldn't really stop her momentum at that point, and she just had no choice but to travel. So smart play by Gilwey there. Even if you don't get the charge, you get the turnover, same result.
Width down low, pass is tipped away from the intended target. Watkins was there back defensively for Miami as Utterback was trying to find Olsen, who was driving along the baseline.
Great defensive play by Watkins, just getting her hands in the passing lanes, and Miami's done a great job of that all day long, just making the passes hard for Vermont.
Quick inbound and a long two is no good. Short rebound picked up by Vermont though, and Gilwey can't finish right underneath the basket. That was tailor-made for her. Now Miami going back on offense. Watkins down low, just threaded one underneath everybody for Freeman. RedHawks will pull it back outside. Top of the key, it's held onto by Ivy Wolf. 3:42 to go in regulation. Far wing now, Watkins with 10 to shoot. A move and a foul called away from the ball. Watkins was just about to start cutting towards the hoop. And the foul will be called for the Catamounts on Ciala, and so the RedHawks will shoot. Now shooting into the bonus, the 1-1. Or I beg your pardon, the 2 shots for Morrow. She'll knock the first one in, and it's now a 2-possession game once more. And the second one good as well. 2 big free throws there from Sierra Morrow. 5 for 8 from the line in the game. Catamounts back. They're going to cut this back down to 1 score. Off the screen, Utterback driving up the right lane. Low percentage shot, bounces off the rim, no good. Nearly got the finish, but the rebound instead for Miami's Maddie Kloos. Kloos top of the key, holding on to it, 3:15 to go. Wolf on the near side from the elbow, works her way back towards the middle, double covered, slips one into Morrow, kicks for a mid-range jumper from Freeman, and she connects. Alyssa Kresge not happy there as a couple of her defenders went down, but Miami back out in front by 7. Richardson on the near wing, guarded by Morrow, has nowhere to go. She'll find Gilwee at the top of the key. Gilwee now slowly making her way towards the near side, cut towards the middle. Shot attempt is no good, and it's rebounded by Ciala for Vermont, who will pull it back. Utterback, or Ciala in the corner, into the post. Olsen, turnaround jumper. That one won't go. Rebound tipped around, and Kloos able to touch it to herself and now race up court. Maddie Kloos gonna run into the corner in a smart play with the RedHawks up 7. She'll give it back to Wolf, who can kill more time.
Great defense by Watkins on that end, going against the oversized Olsen, and just kept her arms up, didn't get a foul, and made her miss it.
An awkward shot attempt went straight in the air for Watkins as she just kind of lost it mid-shot. Picked up for Vermont, back down low. Richardson wide open, left-handed layup will be good for her. And the lead back down to 5 now with under 2 minutes to go. RedHawks will make their way up court. Watkins sticking behind that entire shoe, but now she's back into the play. Doesn't matter for the RedHawks. They're still going to use the time to kill some more clock. On the near wing, Kloos will find Freeman. Now Wolf off the contact with 9 to shoot. Into the flank. Morrow pumped the shot. Now she hands off to Wolf. Wolf with 2 to shoot, back out. Deep 3 for Kloos, and that one well off the mark. Isn't going to even hit the rim. It'll be a shot clock violation on the RedHawks with 1:22 to go. You can see the idea there, but you'd at least like to, Zach, get a good shot attempt up, even if it means sacrificing a few seconds. That time it was just a pass fest for the RedHawks, as 3 different players had hold of the ball with under 10 to shoot, and nobody really got a good attempt at the basket.
Yeah, and once again, our theory kind of proves itself. Kloos, wide open look. Obviously, it's a long 3, but nowhere near the rim. I feel like if she had someone right in her face, she might have made that shot. It's just that's what I've seen from Kloos. She's a player that really looks for the pressure and contact.
And the foul down the left lane, the finish from Utterback. And just like that, Vermont down 3 with a chance to cut it to 2. Emma Utterback heading to the line. Foul called on Sydney Watkins, and she is fouled out. So Watkins will have to exit the game. Chambers comes in for her. Crowd the loudest they've been all night, as Emma Utterback, the 83% free throw shooter, is at the line. Utterback 2 for 3 from the line in the game. A crucial free throw here. And it rolls away. Rebound deflected off a couple players and scooped up by Miami. Big miss, now the lead stays at 3. Wolf will carry it up the court under a minute to play. Shot and game clock separated by 36 seconds. 15 to shoot for the RedHawks. Into the post. Freeman, top of the paint, just working around with the right hand. She draws the foul. Alyssa Kresge is hot on the Vermont sideline. She is not happy. And she will bring in a sub as Richardson will come in to replace Dyson.
And Luke, although we are the Red Hawk Radio, she's got a point, does Coach Kresge over there. I think you could have gotten Freeman for either a travel or a double dribble on that one. She kind of shuffled the feet, and I think she did a double-handed dribble to herself. It was all over the place, but nonetheless capitalizing at the line now is Freeman.
2 for 2. Freeman extends the lead out to 5. Catamounts gonna have to go quick. Ciala to the near side. Utterback finds Richardson. Utterback got it right back in the left lane, and a beautiful play to put that one in. Utterback makes the 2-pointer, and the lead is back down to 3. Shot and game clock separated by 5 seconds. Miami on top by 3. Klus finds Chambers. Chambers looking around and will finally just force one in. Eventually it's kicked back out to the corner. Good play by Freeman to find Morrow. Morrow back to the middle. Free throw line jumper is good with 3 to shoot. And with 6.9 seconds to go, a timeout is called by Vermont. Sierra Morrow doing it herself, ran all over the court just trying to kill clock. Just put up a desperation shot with 3 left on the shot clock. And that one clattering off the inside of the rim and in. A huge one there, Zach, to make it a 2-possession game with just under 7 seconds remaining. That potentially could have iced it.
Yeah, and Luke, it's almost an enigma how that one was made. You want to talk about a shot that had absolutely no arc. Just a straight line to the basket, hits the iron, rattles back, forward. Should have rattled out if, I think 99 out of 100 times you missed that shot. But good for Morrow, able to connect on that one, rattles it home, and you're right, that one might have just put the nail in the coffin for Vermont with 6.9 seconds left here in the fourth. They're going to draw up something nice out of the break here, but it's going to be an uphill battle down 5 now after Morrow hits probably one of the most clutch shots of her career to this point.
Sierra Morrow playing in just her 2nd game in a Miami uniform. She had no points on Monday against Xavier. A frustrating night for her. She had 4 rebounds and a couple of turnovers, but only got to play 14 minutes. What a day she has had as we make our way into the afternoon. 30 minutes for her and 12 points for Sierra Morrow, the transfer from Bradley. Vermont will advance the ball across half court. Bellavito will inbound it. It'll be Vito, Richardson, Olsen, Gilwey, and Utterback for Vermont. 6.9 seconds to go, trailing by 5 are the Catamounts. Deanna Hendricks directing her defense. Vito puts up one near the rim, and it's secured by Miami's Maddie Klus, and she will draw the foul with 4.2 to go. They just tried to put up a high ball there for Olsen. Let her go after it 50-50. But a good secure there from Maddie Klus. Olsen's got 3 inches on her, but Klus had the better position out in front. And with 4.2 seconds to go, Klus will shoot the 2 and the bonus.
Yeah, and Klus looked like a DB that had good position on an underthrown ball from a quarterback there. Just goes up, secures it, and I love that play from Klus, not only because she went up and got the ball, but she didn't feel the need to come down with it right away. Just smack it down, take a lot of time off the clock, and now she's going to the free throw line.
First free throw took about 3 seconds rolling around the rim, but somehow was able to get in. To the delight of the crowd here, the lead is now at 6 points. Klus puts the second one short, rebounded by Utterback. Up the court with 1 second to go, last second heave off the mark, and the RedHawks survive. Millett Hall crowd on their feet. Wasn't the best 40-minute effort, to say the least, from the RedHawks, but they got it done when they needed to. Fueled by a hot start, a lead that was as big as 24, got all the way down to 1 possession, but Miami survives and wins at 79-73 over Vermont. Catamounts are 0-2. They will head back home to Burlington, and they will take on American International, the Yellow Jackets Division II program, on Tuesday. Then they will take on the Blue Hens from Delaware on Friday. They will begin their America East campaign against Albany near New Year's. For the Miami RedHawks, they pick up their first win of the season, 1-1. are Miami. They will be on the road for the next couple of weeks, starting with a trip to take on Memphis on Wednesday. Zach, very big win for the RedHawks. Obviously, you'd hate to see it get this close when it was as big of a lead as it was, but really fun game to watch in the sense that because it got close to the end, the crowd was really brought into this game, and at the end of the day, the RedHawks really just did what it took to win in this one, and a well-deserved victory.
Yeah, and they just outlasted the Catamounts. Obviously, we saw back and forth all day. Catamounts get the lead down to 3 late in the fourth, and then right away, Miami comes back roaring. And how about this crowd today? It felt like they fueled a lot of these runs that Miami had all night long, and that was really the difference going down the stretch, it seemed like, was that Miami had the crowd at their back when they needed it the most, and they were able to get the dub down the stretch there. Great team win. You build on this one. You go to Memphis next week on Wednesday. Try to pick up a win there. Then you're at Western Kentucky. You just got to keep building if you're Coach Hendricks and company. You're just right there picking up wins, and this will be an invaluable experience to win a close game like this come March when those games will be down the stretch all the way.
RedHawks had 4 players in double figures, Zach. They had Morrow with 12, Freeman with 14, Wolf with 18, including 16 in the first quarter, and how about Matty Kluse? 30 points. This is proving to be a RedHawk team that can score. We saw that in the game against Xavier a little bit, especially towards the back half. We certainly saw that throughout the day today. And man, when this team gets Peyton Scott back, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. Picked 11th out of 12th in the MAC preseason poll, but this is a team that may do some serious upsetting in MAC play later this season when they get their superstar back in Peyton Scott.
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that's already putting up near 70, 80 points a game, and they're about to get 20 points of scoring off the bench that's been injured in Peyton Scott. And once they get that back, this is really going to be a team to circle on the schedule, because they're going to be looking to put up about 90 points a game, it would seem like, if that's what Scott brings to the table. Obviously, you're probably not going to see Kluse have 30 a night with Scott in the lineup as well, but I really don't see how this team isn't at least contending in some form or fashion with the offense they've got. They've got the pieces. They've got a big in Freeman. They've got great guard play with Wolf and Kluse, and then you add the scoring of Scott. This is a recipe for disaster for other MAC teams.
Absolutely. What a day it was. Miami wins at 79-73 in an electric morning turned afternoon here from Millett Hall. That'll wrap it up here for us. Luke West, Poley, Zach Rengers, thanks for tuning in. Time for our post-game show, and we will send it over to that right now.
Did Wolf go scoreless in the second half? Hello, Miami fans, and that concludes our game. RedHawks versus the Vermont Catamounts. It is Miami 79, Vermont 73. What a win, what a game. Vermont did a good job closing back up that gap, but Miami just played better overall and came out victorious. Kluse had a great game of 30 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, and 1 block. And let me tell you, can that girl play basketball? She is all over the court. She's fast. She enjoys the contact. She looks to get the contact. And she doesn't let many stuff phase her. She is mentally tough. Ivy Wolf had 18 points. She went scoreless in the second half, which was shocking, because they could have used a couple shots from her. Her field goals, she ended up being 6 and 3 and 4 from 7 from the 3-point line. She ended with 3 assists and 1 steal, but it was shocking to see her go scoreless with only 18 points the whole game. And then we have Freeman, who had 14 points. She was 6 for 8 at field goals, 2 for 2 from the free throws, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. Morrow had 12 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists. This team out-rebounded the Vermont team, with Vermont only having, from Vito, 4 rebounds, Gilwey 6, Utterback 6, Olsen 6, Richardson 5, and then one or two more rebounds here and there. So that's where Miami really pulled through with this game, was how consistent they were on the rebounding boards. And I said that at the halftime too. That's why they were doing so well and why they ended that half so strong. Miami came out, both teams actually came out in the third quarter with a lot of good energy. But Miami, jumped in energy. Vermont dropped, and then for a while there, the score got close, and Vermont got up. It was a 2-point lead for Miami for a little bit, and then Miami ended up pulling away because they ended up getting that energy needed, drew some fouls that they needed. It was a great game overall. Watkins fouled out at the very end with about a minute 30 to go in the game. With shooting the free throws that they only made one. We got the rebound for it, and that was the game. Let's see here. So yeah, in the first quarter, Vermont only scored 8 points, and Miami scored 28. Half of those coming from Klus and Wolf. In the second, Vermont scored 24, Miami scoring 15. In the third, Vermont scored 23, Miami scoring 17. And in the fourth, Vermont scored 18, and Miami just beat them with one, scoring 19. So overall, it was a decent scoring game for both teams, coming in at different points where they were able to take the lead in points and others not. On three-point percentage, Vermont had a total of 35%. Miami had a total of 30%. But on free throws, Miami were more victorious than Vermont. And the last field goal was shot by Sierra Morrow with 7 seconds to go in the first quarter, really just solidified that win, making it that was her 12th point. And then the largest lead was at 7:24 in the second quarter. Miami led 34-10, a total of 24 points. And it's pretty impressive that Vermont was able to come back and close that up a little bit. Let's see here. What else do we have going on? For season stats, Klus goes 10-16 for field goals, has a field goal percentage of 62.5 and a 3-point percentage of 40%, as Wolf has a 14.3 percentage from the 3-point line and a 26.3 field goal percentage. But what's impressive about Wolf is that she is, right now it's showing 100% from the free throw line, which is very impressive, going 6 for 6 in her free throws. We're going to take a quick break here, and then we'll be right back. For point leaders, we had number 23, Emma Utterback, with 15 points, and Klus was Miami's leading scorer with 30 points. Ivy Wolf coming in right behind her with 18, Amani Freeman with 14, and Sierra Morrow with 12, which she went low in scoring with the game against Xavier. Tough start for her, and it was good to see her get back out on this court and really get to in her groove of shooting, because that's what Miami needed, was her to step up to the plate, and she did that. Over for Vermont, number 33, Delaney Richardson had 13 points, Anna Olsen 12, and Ariana Dizon with 11 points. Emma Utterback was the lead assister for Vermont with 10. Maddie Klus had 4 assists, Ivy Wolf had 3, and then Catherine Gilwey had 3 assists as well. Leading steals for Miami was Klus with 3 and Ariana Dizon with 2. Sydney Watkins fouled out, like I said earlier, with 5 fouls. Emma Utterback had 3, as well as Amani Freeman and Delaney Richardson. Leading blocks was Delaney Richardson, Ariana Dizon for Vermont, and Miami's Maddie Klus all had 1 block, which is pretty impressive, actually. Maddie Klus sealed the deal on rebounds. And don't forget, Maddie Klus is a guard. So for her to be getting this number I'm about to say is mind-blowing. Remember, she got 6 rebounds in the first half, and she ended the second half and the whole game with 11 rebounds. That's impressive, not only for a guard, but boy, can I tell you, can she jump, but 2, to be averaging the same amount of rebounds each half. Catherine Gilwey for Vermont had 6, Emma Utterback had 6, Anna Olsen had 6, and Delaney Richardson had 5. And then back over to Miami, we had Sierra Morrow with 7 rebounds, Amani Freeman with 6, and Sydney Watkins with 4. Overall, Miami showed up on the boards, and that is why they were able to take away the money here in the game, winning 79-73. RedHawk fans, it is 12-23 after we concluded a great ball game, packed the Millett Hall Stadium with fans, both courtside and up in the bleachers, and it was a high-energy game and a fun one to watch. I love the energy and the tenacity that this Miami team brings, especially Clue. She's passionate, and she's got purpose for this game. She's exciting to watch. So be on the lookout for her, because you're not going to want to miss any Clue news. This is Natalie Valvo signing off with Red Hawk Radio from Millett Hall. See you next time.